means what's your GPA for all the semesters. So far, I've got 6. And then the next category, do you see how I'm adding on another 2? So this becomes 8. And then another 1 gets added, that's 9. And then another 1, 10. And this one's 0. So this one's also 10. This last number right here should match your sample size. The reason why we're doing all of this is because this is all the information to make yourself a graph, which you're going to want to be able to do. Class boundaries are in a histogram. The bars are right next to each other like this. Okay? And so to figure out what point you should label between those two, you take the edge of the class, so edge of the class, and either add or subtract 0.5 to kind of put them together. And I'll explain that once we get into an example. Okay. Example 2. Now, we're going to use this same information we just did to make all of these. Okay? I'm not going to make you make a whole bunch of these over and over and over again. All right, on a frequency histogram. Histogram, remember, means like a bar chart, but all of the bars are right next to each other. Every time you are doing, and this means every time, like actually listen to me and care about it, every single gosh darn ding dang time, you have to write labels on your graphs. They will totally nail you on the AP exam and all the free response stuff if you don't write over-label it. Too many labels. Okay? They never will take points off. This isn't an English essay where they'll be like, look, you could have said that in a more concise way. No way. Math essays, doesn't matter. Write as much as you can. They're literally looking for keywords. They're like, where did they say the number 12? There's the 12. Did they write a label by it? Great. They said 12 centimeters. 12 centimeters was the right answer. If you didn't say centimeters, you could have written a book, a novel, and in the middle of it, it says 12 centimeters, and they're like, got it, like, no problem. So make sure if they're looking at your graph and they don't see the right words, they're looking for keywords when they're grading these. All right, so we got some axes. I'm also going to insist that every graph you make for me, as in a graph that is actually quantitative, is on graph paper, that you always mark the x-axis, you always mark the y-axis. All right, let's see, classes can be labeled with data or with class boundaries. And then the y-axis is the frequency. So over here we've got the frequency, and I'm going to put some marks down for my things. How many we got? 5? So when I'm doing this, I'm kind of visualizing right now. Can you visualize with me that there's going to be a bar going up right here, a bar going up right here, bar there, bar there, bar there. I've got 6 tallies because I've got 5 bars that are going up and I want either end. You're going to talk about the 0, aren't you?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
So like on the test, can you abbreviate like frequency and stuff, or should we write it out?
I would write out everything. You don't want any questions about it. Yeah, the test, you're going to feel so stupid. But if you're like, well, obviously I wouldn't say that. They know that, write it. Whatever you think they know, write it. So if you're like, this is a histogram, I'm using a histogram because this is quantitative data, and quantitative data belongs in a histogram. And they're like, check, good job. And you're like, well, why would I say that? They already know that. They're looking for that kind of stuff. But we'll do so many practice ones that you'll know. Okay. Now, these classes, the first one was, I had them right here. I was being smart about it and still didn't do it. Okay. So the first one is 0 to 3, and then 4 to 7. Do you see how in between the 2 bars here, should I write 3 or 4? I can't really decide, so I'm going to write 3.5. That's what I mean by that class boundary, where I'm going up 0.5 or down 0.5. Now, the first one was 0, right? I'm actually going to call that negative 0.5, and as long as you make this break, you can even start with a negative number in that quadrant. It's allowed. they prefer it that way, not you cheating over a little bit into the other one or marking the axis as negative 0.5. Next one should be 7.5 and 11.5, 15.5, and 19.5. Now, why do we need 19.5 if 19 is the last one? It is, they want all the bars to be the same width. So like, see how the distance between these are 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, like it's been this whole time? The frequency goes on the side, we're going up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You always have to label everything. I'm going to be a stickler for that so that you know what to expect. First bar is up 6. I'm just copying stuff off of the front page. And the last one doesn't have a bar because it's 0. On the bottom, I'm going to write number of cats. And on the top, because I always label my graphs, I'm going to write number of cats per house. On, name a street in Lewiston.
Harrison.
Hagerson?
Harrison.
Harrison?
Is another street. Harrison Street.
Harrison Street?
I'm pretty sure it is.
We're gonna say it is. Number of cats per, I mean, this whole data's messed up. Made up, right? So let's make up the street name too. Number of cats per house on Harrison Street. I really hope that Caitlin or Gustavo live on, I know they don't, but I would love it if they lived on Harrison Street and they were like, whoa, I've got 6 cats or whatever it is. 6 wasn't on the list. 7. I'd be on the list. I have 1 cat. 1 cat named Sparkles, and she is a precious angel who bites people. Okay. Are we all okay with the last one? Okay. All right, next one. This one is called a frequency polygon. Somebody tell me what a polygon is. It's a shape. An enclosed shape with straight line edges of many sides. That's the poly part, many sides. If it's 3 sides, it's a triangle. 4 sides, it's a square. All of them together are called polygons. Okay, so that's why this is called a